Let's turn our attention to Cardiff Bay for a moment, because UKIP's newest AM, Mandy Jones, sat as an independent in her first appearance in the Senedd yesterday. She became an MP for North Wales over Christmas when Nathan Gill stepped down. He himself had been sitting as an independent, having left the UKIP group. His successor, Mandy Jones, was rejected from the Assembly by the other UKIP AMs. Excuse me. Sorry, I've breathed in the wrong way. After a row over employing people who'd campaigned for other parties. Neil Hamilton is the leader of UKIP in Wales. Mr Hamilton, morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Felicity.
What exactly has gone on here? Because this isn't the greatest start to 2018 for UKIP in the Bay, is it?
Well, it's most disappointing, but how can a member of the UKIP group have as their confidential staff somebody who is a member of another party, an activist in another party, and who has hurled violent abuse at other members of the group? It seems to me a pretty unexceptionable request that you employ staff that are loyal to us rather than to somebody else. And Mandy said to me last week, when I raised this issue with her, that she wanted to be a team player. Great, except that she seems to want us to play in her team rather than the other way round. When you come into an organisation as the newest and most junior member, you shouldn't start trying to throw your weight around and try to change the rules and make everybody else bend to your will. So clearly that wasn't going to be a success, and unfortunately she's going to sit as an independent.
She says you gave her a 2-hour ultimatum to sack all her staff.
Well, that's completely untrue. The 2 hours was what was hers, actually. We had a group meeting on Monday, which lasted an hour and a half to discuss this, all the members of the UKIP group in the Assembly. At 6:30, she said, give me 2 hours to make my mind up. We didn't hear anything from her ever again. So at 9 o'clock the following morning, the presiding officers of the Assembly wanted to know whether she was in our group for the purposes of seating in the chamber. So I'm afraid that Mandy has effectively made herself into an independent and will be sitting on her own, presumably for the next 3.5 years.
To what extent is this a hangover from the falling out with Nathan Gill and the final boot into Nathan Gill, really? Because obviously she's inherited his staff and chosen to keep them.
Well, I have no idea why she's chosen to keep these people. She's an AM for North Wales. They all live in South Wales. Yes, they were on Nathan's staff, but the main point was that one is a Conservative, one joined an independent group in Newport. They've both campaigned against UKIP in elections, and they've both said very unpleasant and insulting things about me and other members of the group in public. We can't possibly have a UKIP AM employing people with that record, and no business organisation, certainly no other political party in the Bay, would dream of allowing such a thing.
Do you have any sympathy for Mandy Jones in that she's been landed in this relatively short notice and unexpectedly, hasn't she? The election was done and dusted. Nathan Gill took the seat. She was on the list. She didn't get a seat. She gets on with her life. Then Nathan Gill decides he's stepping down, and all of a sudden there's great upheaval in her life. She's parachuted in to the Senedd midway through this particular parliamentary term, and she has to hit the ground running. You can see why she would think, I need staff around me who understand how all of this works, and there's a team here already in place who've been doing it.
Yes, but they're an opposing team, and so you don't employ your opponents in those circumstances. We have capable staff in our group office, and I offered to make them fully available to her for a period of transition while she recruited her own reliable staff. I'm afraid she had a different agenda, so we can't work with this woman if that's the way that she operates.
So there's no way through this impasse, is there?
Well, I very much hope that they're all on temporary contracts, that she'll see sense. But the 5 UKIP members are absolutely unanimous that they cannot work with the people that she wants to employ, and we couldn't have confidential discussions with her in their presence. We couldn't send her confidential emails. We couldn't discuss strategy or anything else without fearing that might be leaked somewhere. These people have a record, and they're not loyal to UKIP. They are opposed to UKIP. So therefore, how can a UKIP AM employ people who fight against us?
Do you have any broader concerns about the representation issue here, in that the people of North Wales in the election voted to have a UKIP list member, and firstly with Nathan Gill and now with Mandy Jones, they haven't got that member.
You're absolutely right. The people of North Wales voted in May 2016 for 2 UKIP AMs. They haven't had 2 UKIP AMs since August 2016. So the voters of North Wales have not just been shortchanged, they've been betrayed.
Yes, but the question is, how much responsibility do you bear for this situation? Forgive me for misquoting Oscar Wilde here, but to fall out with one North Wales Assembly member who's been elected to your list is unfortunate. 2, carelessness, negligence, poor people skills, what is it?
Well, why did these 2 become independent? Nathan Gill became an independent just because the UKIP group members elected me as their leader rather than him. So he threw his toys out of the pram and stomped off. Mandy Jones, his successor, wants to employ people who are opponents of UKIP as a party and have been violently abusive about other members of the group. It's nothing to do with carelessness. It's common sense that here we have people who, for selfish reasons, want to go their own way and yet enjoy the benefits of being part of a group. The 2 things are incompatible.
Before you go, Mr Hamilton, can I just ask you about the situation with Gareth Bennett, one of your AMs, whose comments on trans people during a debate at the end of last year upset the presiding officer, and she demanded an apology.
Yes.
Which he's refused to give, and she said that he will be barred from speaking in the Senedd until he does apologise. I know that you've had meetings with her to try to resolve this. What's the situation and what do you anticipate happening?
Well, I'm confident that that will be sorted out. As you say, I have had a meeting with the Llywydd and we've discussed it in general. I can't, I'm afraid, give you the details of our discussions, but I'm confident this will be sorted out to everybody's satisfaction at a very early stage.
Does that mean Mr Bennett will be apologising?
I said I can't actually anticipate events, and you'll find out soon enough.
Thank you for talking to us this morning. We're very grateful to you. Neil Hamilton, leader of UKIP in Wales.